Between the Myrtles, Chapter 5. Lena. I understand. Can I expect to see different content, clickable content, by the end of this week, Miss Dillon? Yes. Okay. Until I see solid evidence or something juicy that other reporters aren't speaking on, I need you to drop this. I like you. I see your potential, which is why you're still getting a check this time. Next time, you will have wasted your own time and resources. Can you offer me a few examples of what you consider clickable content? Well, you live in a city of national and international figures. You're an investigative journalist. Investigate. Okay, so like what salons they're using, or most recent affairs? Is that what I'm aiming for? Lena's distaste was palpable. Now you're cooking with gas. Perfect. The woman at the other side of the desk tossed an unopened envelope to slide over the surface between them. Thank you for the clarification. I feel like I've been tossing stones into the ocean lately. Lena reached for the envelope. You're welcome, kiddo. That's all part of the job. Stop aiming at minnows. Shoot for the sharks. She winked. All right, that's all I have. My next meeting is in less than 5 minutes. I'll expect new, fresh content on my desk before the end of day Friday. And you'll have it. Lena stood up to leave. Last thing, let's say I come across something interesting and easy to identify with on a human level. Like 10 traits likely to be portrayed by figures in power, or something like that. Put it this way. If you can get my attention, I'm sure you'll have the readers by the drawstrings. Write like your only audience is me, darling. You'll figure it out. I believe in you. Lena shut the glazed office door behind her, stuffing in earbuds as she went. She closed her eyes, disappearing into the soundscape pouring in to comfort her and drown out the noisy office ambience. She opened her eyes. The busy bodies now fluttered from cube to copier to cube to the sound of birds, running water pouring through rocky alcoves, and light classical piano. Much better. She smiled, observing the space with more benevolence as she passed through. It was a beautiful day to be nosy. Nothing could dampen the mood, not even digging through strangers' trash. Lena smiled as she decided to collect her bearings in the only way she knew how. People watching in Central City Park. The crowning jewel of the Emerald City in her book. It had always been a sanctuary, and today she felt the need to apologize and to make amends with her younger self over the direction their writing career had taken. The walk sign chimed and turned from a little red hand to a walking stick figure, and she, along with the herd surrounding, moved to obey. Everything was more pleasant when you can't hear the noise. Lena smiled at the thought. It was true. She had, at one point in the conversation with her boss, imagined sticking the earbuds in and watching her lips move, pretending she was congratulating her on bringing to light the fundamental flaws in current movements that created irony between what they proclaimed to do and how the movement, well, actually moved. Apparently, that was more inflammatory than clickable content. The crowd around her dispersed as she continued forward, and each spun off to their individual paths. The suits and pin skirts steered toward the open mouths of glamorous, massive glass and steel giants, while the blue collars and the name tag shuffled busily to the back alley entrances, ready to maintain the bones and structures without pomp and circumstance. Lena scratched the idea. I'm sure no one wants to read about that today. The final turn in the sidewalk revealed a huge open space full of trees and greenery. Brass and concrete memorials poked through the natural wonder to remind the contents of the city of the roots they extend from. Lena kicked off her shoes and strode over the final stretch of grass, pulling a bud out as she went to listen to the birds and happy sounds of children at play. The cool green was refreshing to her feet. It served as the perfect reminder of a million play sessions from home. She closed her eyes and took in a deep breath. Caroline came to mind. Their days of bike riding and paddling over the local lake, the sting of old pain shot through her. "I miss you," she breathed. The sun was hot. No clouds offered to come between she and it, so she set her sights on a grove of trees on the far hill from where she stood. It was the perfect place to observe without being observed. She smiled and made a beeline toward it. What can I possibly find on these public figures that their loyal followers hadn't already found, or at least gotten leads on? The question echoed through her, coming back void. She set her backpack down in the shade and proceeded to unpack its contents. Ugh, is this what my craft has been reduced to? Why doesn't anyone care about anything real? And what is real? The follow-up questions poured in, delivering a punch of frustration that scattered her pens across the green in her fumbling fingers. She watched her oval pencil sharpener tumble down a slope in the grassy knoll. She imagined the little sharpener would feel a lot like she did if it had an ounce of consciousness attached, displaced and left to tumble. Only it had something invested in it staying attached. Maybe I do too. The comparison sparked hope. Maybe she did too. Maybe that's why she'd made it this far while others who'd walked with her to certain points hadn't. Even though they seemed more likely to continue on than she did at certain points in their walk together, they were gone, and she, well, she was still here for better or worse. That had to mean something. "I think you dropped this thingy." The metallic voice jolted Lena from her thoughts. "Oh, yes, that's mine." She'd been so wrapped up in her thoughts, she'd missed the stranger now holding the sharpener out to her. The slender girl smiled and offered it before she turned and walked toward the trees shading Lena. How curious. She watched the stranger disappear through the bushes after handing over the trinket. There was something about her that caught the young reporter's attention. She wasn't sure if it was the oversized t-shirt that seemed to act as a dress over her frame, or the fact that she, too, had been barefoot. Maybe it was her deep, sad emerald eyes that seemed too large for her face, or the fact that her sunken cheeks didn't seem to have housed a good meal in long enough to make her seem homeless? No way. Lena leapt to her feet, determined to thank the kind stranger for helping her pick up her mess. "Miss?" she called as she launched through the underbrush. Miss?" The grove was shaded and cool. The moment she entered in, it was obvious the arena was lived in. No way, the thought echoed again. "Yes?" The voice returned softly. The little sprite was leaned against the tree with a soiled and torn notebook in her hands. Lena looked around the neatly kept clearing. There was a crate full of odds and ends near one tree, a discreet fire pit hidden under broken tree limbs. Her eyes came to rest on the girl once again, her heart throbbing with newfound concern. Lena took a few steps closer. Is this your home? The girl's eyes widened. I know I'm not supposed to, she stammered. Please don't tell on me. I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I don't have anywhere else to go. They took my friend, and he was the only one who understood. She burst into tears. Hey, Lena cooed and rushed to her side. I'm not going to tell anyone. You're safe. I mean, as safe as you can be. Are you living here by yourself? She stumbled to her conclusion. The girl sniffed and wiped her eyes with the back of a hand. Yes, I didn't used to, but I do now. Lena reached out and placed her hand comfortingly on the surprisingly warm shoulder of her new acquaintance. Do you have family in the city? Anyone I can call for you? Lena pulled out her phone readily. The girl sniffed and shook her head. Not that I know of. Her eyes started to water again. Without a second thought, Lena stuck out her hand. My name is Lena, she smiled warmly. I'm Beatrice. The girl's smile lit up the grove. Have you had anything to eat today? Lena asked. Beatrice shook her head. Can I take you out to lunch? Lena offered impulsively. Again, the strange girl's smile blasted through the shaded arena. She nodded emphatically. Thank you. You're the first person who seems to have actually seen me since I got back. I was starting to wonder if I was invisible out there. Every word she spoke impacted. Lena's curiosity shot skyward. Wonderful. I know this little place I just absolutely love. It's just down the street from my apartment. She hesitated, looking down at the girl's dirty feet. They require shoes, I'm afraid. Do you have any? Her new friend's cheeks turned red. She shook her head. This is all I have. The police gave me some jeans and Crocs, but I didn't like them, so I gave them away. The police? Lena was hooked. Her inner writer was determined to get to the bottom of this new mystery. All she and her boss had spoken of earlier flew from the window. Hey, I have more clothes than I know what to do with. We seem to be a similar size. Can I offer you some clothes? If you don't like them, you only have to wear them to lunch. Thank you so much for your kindness. And to think, all I did was hand you your thingamabob. Her eyes welled with tears. Lena laughed. She was already attached to this little sprite. Come with me. She offered Beatrice a hand, which was accepted readily. When they met, a shock pulsated and shook Lena's entire body. She blinked back in surprise, searching Beatrice's expression, but her new friend's face betrayed nothing. Maybe it was nothing. Together they made their way from the shaded grove and into the bright afternoon sun. To be continued.